We're officially in May, and now it's time for another Calgary market update. Which part of the city has performed the best, and which area of the city has had the biggest loss in this most recent update? The part of the city which had the worst performance this past month was the Northeast, with a 8.7% decrease year over year in pricing. And the part of the city which had the best performance this last month was the West part of the city, the West Quadrant, with a 1.4% year over year gain. Really quickly, if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content similar to this. Calgary really is four distinct markets right now. When you take a look at detached, semi-detached, row, and apartments, you can see that they're all performing very differently. And I don't really like looking at these numbers either because, again, this is detached, for example, all across Calgary. So it doesn't give the correct picture because every single section of the city and every different community is performing different. But just to look at it broadly, detached prices, 2.7% year over year decrease. Semi-detached, the thing that I'm very bullish on, I mention all the time, 0.3% year over year decrease, 7% for row, and then 8.9% decrease for apartment. There's two really interesting things that are going on now with the Calgary market. One of them is the continuing trend of the decrease in new listings, but then the other is the shift in the pending data. Pending just meaning accepted offers between a buyer and seller. Now, if you turn your attention towards new listings, the amount of new listings, as you can see, that are coming on the market is decreasing. 5.2% decrease year over year. And again, that varies depending where you are. But less people are putting their homes for sale now. And what is that doing? That's actually causing the inventory, if you notice, 1.8% year over year increase. Really not that much. Now, if you take a look here, as I mentioned before, I'm very bullish on semi-detached. April was a very good month for semi-detached in the sense that if you look at year over year, April 2025 versus April 2026, semi-detached had a 14% increase in sales. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you what type of property to buy. Buy whatever type of property you want. But semi-detached, if you have the means and you're able to buy one and it's something you want, it's really not the worst thing to purchase compared to all other things right now. If we look at new listings for detached, you could see 2025 year to date 6295 and 2026 year to date 5986. So as of right now, compared to last year, minus 5% decrease in new listings. That's why if you compare last April to this April for detached inventory, you can see right now compared to last year, we have less detached homes available right now compared to last April. Apartments continue to just crater and crash. If you have an apartment, I've mentioned this before, either you need to be prepared to hold for the long haul if you haven't sold by now, or if your property value is decreasing, you're getting close to breaking even or losing money, you might want to make a decision to sell now. Total sales year to date, as you can see, 27% decrease. Even if you just look at month over month from last year and this month, 26% decreases for April this year. When it comes to new listings, apartment listings are reducing as well. If you just look at year-to-date numbers, there are less apartments being listed this year compared to last year. Semi-detached, I mean, let's take a look. If you look at year-to-date, the sales are pretty much the same as last year, not doing too bad. Yes, inventory has went up because there has been like 1 or 2 months where these sales weren't as strong. So the inventory is still much higher compared to year-to-date this year versus last year. And it also makes sense because if your semi-detached property is holding value, or if they're selling quick, you're going to want to list and put new listings on the market. Row/townhouses are also doing bad. 13% decrease in sales year to date compared to last year to date. New listings are decreasing, less people are putting their townhouses for sale, but it's still not going to absorb all the inventory because you can see inventory year to date, how many have been listed, 19% more compared to last year. So in terms of inventory, we still have more. When we break it down into individual quadrants for each different property sector, if we look at detached, for example, we already know in the West sector, year over year, price changes was a positive 2.28%. City center and Northwest did not do too bad either. If you look at the East district for detached, it also did pretty poorly year over year, 7.28%, but the month over month, 3.37%, which was much higher month over month loss than any other district. Apartments, pretty much everywhere. If you look, all these districts just did poorly. You can look at them. Yes, Northeast did the worst, but honestly, everybody fared pretty bad. If you look at the rest of them, there's quite a few of them which are double-digit losses. And then if you look at the months of supply, the East reported for the month of April, 12 months of supply. That just shows that April was a very slow month for the East district for apartments. 12 months of supply. Northeast, 7 months. If you look at the rest of them, just not great. If you have an apartment, you really need to make a decision on what you want to do. Semi-detached, let's look at this. 1, 2, 3 districts reporting positive price movement. And then if you look at row and townhouses, again, it just makes you squeamish and cringe. Multiple sections with double-digit losses. Months of supply in some areas are actually not too bad, at least for the month of April. But if you look at the price decreases just year over year, terrible. Total sales for April, year to date April, and this shows going all the way back to 2016. So you can see 2026, again, this is year to date, so from the beginning of the year to now. In terms of sales, we are lower than 2025, 24, 23, 22, 21, again, the booming times, but we are still quite a bit higher than if you look at from 2016 to 2020 in terms of year to date sales. If you end up enjoying the video or found some value, hit the like button, subscribe for more content similar to this. Again, any other questions you have, please feel free to reach out to me, and please enjoy the rest of your May and your May long weekend. Take care. Bye.